Hey everybody, welcome back to Music Notes. This is Mr. B, and on today's episode, we're going to be teaching you how to use loops from Splice the right way. Okay, so on today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to use loops from Splice the right way and not the wrong way. Trust me, there's lots of wrong ways to use loops, and there's lots of right ways to use them. So just thinking if you're going to open up Splice, load up a bunch of samples, and call it a musical production, that I wouldn't consider to be the right way to use them. The right way to use them is to use them articulately and for a purpose. So the way that we're going to be starting off this lesson is in our Splice library just by finding a musical loop. What does a musical loop mean? That means a musical loop can be a loop of guitar, or it could be a loop of piano, or it could be a loop of some kind of sound that would have be in our music bus that we had learned about in our previous lesson. It should not include drums. Hopefully minimal amount of bass, although that can be EQ'd out. And it could be multi-layered sample. It could have vocals, piano, guitar, accordion. It could have a lot of different components, or it could just be one singular component. So for this assignment, I just chose, and you can see it right here, a piano loop. I just went to my library and I typed in piano, and I itemized the section for the loop, and I just put it on loops. All right, and you can see I've got 6,000 results. That's clearly too many for me to actually go through. So right here, now these are just my piano loops, and that's still like way too many to go through. So I went over to the randomizer and I found one randomly, okay? Loaded it up, drag and drop it right onto the track. Now, the important information is the key and the tempo. It is 120 and it's a D flat minor. Okay, so then I found a drum loop that sounded good with it. And I did that the exact same way. So I have already done that part because it's kind of time consuming and I want to get straight to the point here. So you take your time and you're going to find two different loops that you like. One is musical, one is drums, one is percussion. And you're going to put those two together. In this case, it's 4 bars. Usually they're 4, sometimes they're 8. You're not going to be making anything more than that for this particular assignment. Okay, so what we're going to do is just put those together. I'll play you what we have so far. Okay, so next is finding the chords for this. The musical element that you're going to be looking for should be chords, okay? Let's just make sure that they're chords as well. So even in the browser, let's just see what happens if I type in chords. Lots of different chords available. So make sure that you type in chords. If you want piano, type in piano chords or just chords. And then you can go through the instrument filter and filter out what you want. Okay, because we're going to extract out the chords from the sample and we're going to make our own instrument using those chords. So it's like layering the chords that we already have, and it's going to sound really good. This sounds pretty cool already, right? It's kind of chill. Now, all you have to do to extract the chords is to highlight the track with the chords And you can see right here in the sample, it actually says piano chords, gospel, airy. You're just going to drag them right into the chords track. We should always have when we making music. Okay, now here's the chords extracted. This tells you and tells us what the chords are for that loop. So the next thing we're going to do, step 3, is to extract the chords out of the sample and put them on a separate synthesizer. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Rolling Cloud. Let's load up Jupiter 8. That's always a fun one. Put that down here. Okay, so now that I loaded up Jupiter 8, I don't know what, let's actually just put this on some kind of synthesizer or keys. Not something that's monophonic, but something that's polyphonic, and we can always change that later. Or even, could even do a sequence. That's always kind of fun. So, you know what? Let's put it on a pad. Let's just put it on a pad. Okay, nice sounding pad. So this is how we extract the chords from any chords loop, whether it be audio or MIDI. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So we can take any loop from Splice that has chords in it, take out the chords, and add to it. So now I'm just going to drag the piano loop straight down into the MIDI region. And that's it. There's the chords. Yeah, it's really that easy. All I did was first you take the audio region with the chords, you drag it to the chords track, so it imprints the chords onto that particular region, and then you drag that region down to your empty MIDI track, and we have some chords. Let's hear how that sounds. Pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Sounds good already. Then I'll just label that one chords. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is a bass line. We're going to make our own bass line. I do not want you to use loops for your bass. I want you to make your own bass line, because bass lines are going to be unique for whatever chord progression that is present, and unless it's from the same pack, the bass line is going to be different for most different packs. So it's really hard just to even find a good bass loop that matches up with whatever you're doing. And it's just easier and more fun just to do it on your own. So I'm just going to now load up. Let's load up Mars. That's always a good one for bass. Pro Mars. Zoom this in. And now I'm going to make a bass line using my MIDI controller. Okay, so next I am going to be making my bass line. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. I'm just going to use my Atom, and I'm going to set my Atom so that it is in the key, which is D flat minor. All right, and I'm just going to make the funky bass line based on that. There's another way that you can approach it. You can double click on the region, and then if you go to your edit window and you look at this little keypad, this is for Studio One 7 and up, it'll show you right here. You can then change the key for the scale and that you want to follow. And this is my favorite part, because if you put it in scale, it'll be all the correct notes. You can't hit a wrong note. So I already put that on my atom, and I'm actually going to play it on my atom. But I just want to show you how to do it otherwise. Let's say if you don't have an atom, or you just want to use your computer. So let's just set this scale. So the key is D flat. So remember, D flat is also C sharp. And we're just going to put that into minor, a natural minor, right here. And then over here, right here, it says in scale. Right now it's all the notes are playing. These are the notes that are in the scale on the keyboard. Okay, if I just type in scale, and then all of these available notes are in the scale. And it shows you this little Roman numeral next to, in the order that, they're played for the scale too. So it's pretty incredible. Okay, so I'm going to record it, and let's just look at where the notes actually lie within the in-scale pitch visibility turned on, okay? All right, I'm going to do my count in. Okay, let's now quantize that. I'm just going to press Q. Remember, you don't have to overthink it. At least just get your bass line from pen to paper. And then you can always add or take away notes as needed, or adjust whatever you need to, your velocities, like this one or this one. Or let's just say that this one is maybe too long, etc. So let's hear back. Okay, you know what? I'm going to stick with that for now. And then I'm going to color this one purple. So we're already starting to build something pretty substantial here. And it's been a very short amount of time. I really like this. So now let's hear everything all together with the bass, the chords, and the musical loop and the drum loop. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a melody. Yeah, let's add a melody. This is where it just becomes fun. It's just layering and layering and layering. Just add a couple more things to it once you start catching a vibe, right? So I'm going to open up. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use the SH-101. That's really good with leads, sequences, and bass lines. So let's check that one out for a melody. Now, the same thing as the bass line, I'm going to put this into key. It's already in the scale. And I'm just going to play these notes that are highlighted here. Okay? So let's have some fun here. Okay, I like that. now I'm going to record it. Okay. Remember, I'm doing all of this on the ADA and I'm just following the highlighted keys because it's already in scale. I'm not going to hit any wrong notes. Let me undo that and redo that one time. Okay, let me zoom in here and let's get this melody down. I'm gonna wait till it loops back around. There we go. Okay, so now I have a melody. Whoops, let me undo that. I got all the basic components for my song. And now I'm just gonna add maybe a couple other layers. So let's go back. I'm gonna go back to Splice. And maybe I want to add something that has a guitar. Let's add a guitar. And I'm going to purposely find one that is not going to be in the scale because I want you to see how Splice and Studio One can sync the keys together. Okay, this is really important. Remember, I don't want like a whole bunch of different loops. I want like 2, 3 loops at the most. Sometimes we'll even be able to cut and paste different sections of a loop instead of just dragging a whole loop and putting it on there. Maybe you just want this tail end. So let me find a guitar. And I'll play it and see if any of these sound good. I'm going to go to guitar and see what we have here. Now, let's say if I wanted to add that like heavy metal sounding guitar, but it's out of key. Okay, so this is how you change it. Even before you want to start looking for your additional loops to accompany the rest of your song, you want to open this up, and all you got to do is press sync to project. Now all of these loops will sync to your project. But remember in your key down here where it says key, put in your key, which in this case it's D flat minor, D flat minor. D flat minor is also C sharp minor. So there we go. Okay. Now let's hear what that sounded like. Okay. You know what? I'm going to add that one as just a little bit extra rhythm. It's like a rhythm guitar. A muted, like kind of a dance kind of guitar. And that's it. Okay, that's going to be for our step 1 of using loops to make a song the right way.